Hello, and thank you for taking the time to check out this invitation to an opportunity that my new company, the Pro-Magnum Group, is offering. The motto of the Pro-Magnum Group is that we are a unique group of leaders working together to change the world to help people live, learn, prosper, and leave a legacy. The opportunity that the Pro-Magnum Group is offering is a Change Your Life workshop with million-dollar financial solutions to go. The workshop is free, but the information is priceless. I'd like to give you an example of one of the million-dollar financial solutions that is only a taste of the topics that we will be covering our next workshop that you cannot afford to miss. In this example, we will be discussing a story about two neighbors with two identical homes, two mortgages, and one big financial mistake. Mr. A and Mr. B are identical in that they are the same age, and they bought identical homes for the same amount of money on the same street in the same neighborhood on the same day. Also, they both have the same amount of financial resources, meaning they both are able to afford to pay the same amount of money. The only difference between the two men in this example is the type of mortgage that they each chose. Mr. A decided to get a traditional 30-year mortgage with a fixed 6% rate of interest with a payment of principal and interest of around $1,800 per month. Mr. B decided to pay his mortgage off early and got a 15-year mortgage with a fixed 5.25% rate of interest, a little lower than Mr. A's at 0.75% lower, with a payment of principal and interest of about $2,400 per month, a bit higher than Mr. A's, $612.98 higher to be exact. Which mortgage would you choose? Another difference to be noted is that because Mr. A will be paying for a longer term than Mr. B, he will also be paying more interest than Mr. B. Mr. A will have to pay almost $350,000 above and beyond the original cost of the house for the interest during the term of his mortgage, while Mr. B will only have to pay around $134,000 of interest during the term of his mortgage. So to recap, Mr. A will save $612.98 a month on principal and interest as compared to Mr. B, whereas Mr. B will have 0.75% lower interest rate, will have his home paid off 15 years earlier, and will save over $213,000 on interest payments as compared to Mr. A. Now which mortgage would you choose? Now at the 15-year mark, Mr. B has his mortgage paid off. But if you look at Mr. A, you can see at 15 years he still owes a little over $213,000. Also, Mr. B has been so used to paying around $2,400 a month for his mortgage, he decides that since he's still able to, he will continue paying that amount per month for the next 15 years, but as an investment in a mutual fund. With the mutual fund's return on investment working at 10%, which is pretty conservative over a 15-year period, that would pump out a little over $1 million. So here are the facts so far. Mr. B will have 0.75% lower interest rate, will have his home paid off 15 years earlier, and will save over $213,000 on interest payments as compared to Mr. A. Also, Mr. B will have accumulated a little over $1 million at the end of the 30-year period. That's pretty good, isn't it? Can it get any better than this? What Mr. B did was very good, but what I love about the Pro-Magnum Group is that we have the experience to provide the best financial solutions. Now for the rest of the story. In the beginning of this example, it was mentioned that both Mr. A and Mr. B had the same financial resources, so Mr. A could have decided to make the higher monthly payments and pay his house off in 15 years. However, Mr. A decided to invest that extra $612.98 per month, the difference between Mr. A's monthly payment and Mr. B's monthly payment, into two Roth IRAs, one for himself and one for his wife. If his investment was working at 10% for 30 years, Mr. A would accumulate almost $1.4 million that would be totally tax-free. An interesting fact is that most of Mr. B's $1 million would be taxed upon withdrawal, because most of it would not be able to be placed into a Roth IRA. So in this example, both neighbors invested the same amount of money each month for 30 years. However, because Mr. A understood the time value of money, he ended up at the end of 30 years with an additional almost $390,000 of tax-free money. You might still be saying to yourself that at year 15, Mr. B now can sleep easily, knowing that he has his house fully paid off and has no debt, while Mr. A still owes around $213,000 on his mortgage. That is true. However, here's an interesting note. By investing the difference in the two mortgage payments each month, Mr. A would have accumulated enough in his mutual fund after 15 years to completely pay off his remaining mortgage, and still have an additional $43,000 left, assuming a 10% return on investment. If Mr. A had been investing the difference, the $612.98 per month, for the 15 years, a 10% return on investment, he would have accumulated a little over $256,000, which would more than pay off the mortgage, and he would still have some left over for his investment. Even at 8% return on investment, he would have accumulated a little over $213,000, which still would have been enough to pay the rest of the mortgage. The 30-year difference at 12% return on investment would equal almost $950,000 of tax-free money. So now you can see that taking the 15-year mortgage over the 30-year mortgage can become a very costly financial illusion. The moral of this story is that when dealing with mortgages, always try to choose the term that is the longest, the interest rate that is the lowest, and most importantly, to invest the rest. For more $1 Million Financial Solutions, please attend the next free Change Your Life workshop, sponsored by the Pro-Magnon Group. Please contact the person to send you this invitation if you have any questions or comments about this presentation, or wish to receive more information on this subject matter, or on the logistics of the next free workshop. Thank you for your time.